Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of JV Live. I'm so excited to bring you this first episode. And so is Bailey. As you can tell, she is hopping on up here. We're just so excited to have you guys. I've been wanting to do this live broadcast for a while now. I had it in the works last week. I planned on doing it, but due to a sick Bailey, that did not happen. I needed to comfort my puppy. So we are going live with the first for the first time with the Week 10 college football rankings. And I don't know if you guys were able to catch them. I do have them up here for you guys to check out. And the first, I guess it won't let me put it up. But anyway, we'll go through them real quick. Number one sits Georgia. Okay with me. I still put Bama at number one, but the college football committee, I'll trust them on Georgia being number one. In the long run, it doesn't matter. They're both going to host a playoff game if things stay the same. Number two, of course, is Alabama. Number three is Notre Dame. I will take that one. Their one loss is to the top team, Georgia. I'm fine with Notre Dame. Clemson's number four. I know that's a tricky number four for most people. And then the outside looking in, 5 and 6 is going to be Oklahoma and TCU, respectively. Say what you will about those teams. There's some really good football teams up there at the top six. There could be better. There could be a lot better. I personally find it tough to go undefeated this long in college football. That's 9 straight games for a lot of these teams. 8 for Miami, but they still deserve credit. But they are there. They are 7 and 8 respectively. Miami is at 7 and Wisconsin is at 8. Going on down the line, Washington's at 9, Auburn 10, USC 11, Michigan State 12, Ohio State 13, and Penn State 14. I think they got that right. They did a tremendous job of getting those guys right. Here we go. Now I have it up for you. Now, as you can see, we've got the top 3, or we got the top 25 here. Georgia number 1, Bama 2, Notre Dame 3, Clemson 4, Oklahoma 5, TCU 6, Miami 7, Wisconsin 8, Washington 9, Auburn 10, USC 11, Michigan State 12, Ohio State 13, Penn State 14, Oklahoma State 15. Bedlam. What a shootout Bedlam was. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. That was a tremendous shootout. Great win for Oklahoma. That they deserve to be up in there, that area. But as I said, it is tough to go undefeated this long in college football, let alone in a conference like the Big Ten. And even though the ACC is a little weak this year, the Florida State not performing well is hurting the ACC, but they still have Miami up there at 7. And I do believe Miami should be and deserve a spot up there. I would flip Miami and TCU. But enough about that. Let's get on to what really grinds my gears right now. We got Mississippi State at 16, Virginia Tech at 17, UCF at 18. Well-deserved for Central Florida. Congratulations for making the top 20. They should be, if they keep winning, I don't care who they're playing. As I said, it's tough to go undefeated in college football. So if they keep winning, I hope to see them in the top 15. 19 is Washington State, Wazoo. They're getting there. They're getting there. They had a tough loss, but their win against Stanford this past week, it's good for them, good on the program. And then there's Iowa. Iowa is just that wild card. You never know who or what Iowa's going to do. They are the wild card team of the Big Ten. They will they perform well when they need to perform well, and they don't perform well when they're expected to perform well. And that's Iowa. That's a wild card. So they're sitting at number 20 there. Number 21 is Iowa State. Good old Matt Campbell. Good to see Iowa and Iowa State represented this week in the top 25 together. They both deserve it. Matt Campbell does a terrific job with Iowa State there. Number 22 is Memphis. They're sitting at 8-1, so they deserve a spot up there. Now's where I begin to get a little frustrated. We have NC State sitting at number 23, LSU sitting at number 24, and Northwestern sitting at 25. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the last time I checked, if you lose at home to a team by the name of Troy. That's automatic. You're not in the top 25 for me. I'm sorry. LSU is doing a tremendous job this year. They did just lose to Alabama, but you cannot be in the top 25 if you lose to Troy. I'm sorry. Troy being just overall performing better that day. They just did a tremendous job against LSU, and I would think Troy would be in the top 25 with that win. But, the following week after beating LSU, they get home and they have a hangover of a hangover and they lose to South Alabama. South Alabama. It's not like they didn't play that number 2 team up there, Alabama. They played South Alabama. And to me, that looks bad, even worse on LSU. That should just be even worse on LSU. And I can't believe that they're in the top 25. And that irritates me. That irritates me that LSU was in the top 25. Northwestern as well. Let's talk Northwestern now. Northwestern sits at number 25 in this week's college football playoff rankings. Northwestern, a team that got demolished by a lacking, just not so great Duke football team this year. They got demolished by the Duke football squad this year, and now Northwestern is sitting in 25. Duke is sitting towards the bottom of the ACC, an ACC that I did say, once again, is struggling this year. Again, Florida State being hurt, it hurts. So I would take out Northwestern, and LSU should be disqualified from finishing in the top 25. You cannot lose at home to Troy. I'm a Michigan man. I'm a Michigan fan, and I said the same thing once Michigan lost to Appalachian State. They did not deserve to be in the standings the rest of the season. I know there's a difference between a Division I AA and a Sun Belt team, but you're LSU. You cannot lose to a Sun Belt conference in Baton Rouge. And I know I'm being tough on LSU. I like Ed Orgeron. I thought he was screwed over at USC, but I like him at LSU. That was just an unfortunate day, but it turns into an unfortunate season. I'm not sure the outlook is looking bright for Orgeron this season. So, who would you replace out of one of those two? Well, if I had to drop one of those two, hint, hint, LSU, I personally would leave Northwestern at 25 and skip up to number 24, the team, the Toledo. Now, who is Toledo's only loss to this season? Well, if you look up at the rankings, it's to the number 7 team. And the argument could be made that that game was lost by the officials and Toledo should have won. I'm not going to push that argument. I don't play that rule. I don't play that officials blow games. Toledo could have made a play or two better. Miami just made a play or two better and ended up winning that game. And with their only loss to the number 7 team in the nation, by the way, Miami is undefeated. They got the turnover chain. I like the turnover chain. I'm liking Miami this year. I still think they deserve to be in one of the top 6, but it's tough with the good teams that are up there. But Toledo deserves to be in the top 25. I'm not even going to go into because I believe they should be in the top 20. But for argument's sake, they deserve to be in the top 25. I would drop LSU, who deserves to not be in there. Memphis deserves to stay. They are a solid squad at 8-1. NC State, also a good team. They are sitting at 6-3, but their only losses are to Notre Dame. They just lost to Clemson, and I can't think of NC State's first loss. But so I'm fine with the 6-3 NC State at 23, but a number 24, 6-3 LSU has got to go. And that team from Toledo, Toledo, they need to be in that spot. I said it before, and I will say it again. They did not miss a beat once they lost Campbell. They are a good team. They are a good squad, and they deserve to be that 24 spot. Shame on the college football committee for not putting Toledo in that top 25. And I'm sure there's other teams out there too that are just as qualified. But that Toledo needs to be in there. They did everything right against Miami. Miami just did one thing better, and they left. They left. They went into Miami not expected to win, and they lost a tough battle. They lost it at the end. Miami just stuck it out to the end and had a tremendous game. But Miami ended up winning, and now that all of a sudden, because of that loss, that just about that second half, I mean, Toledo dominated that first half, but it was that second half that is blowing the season for University of Toledo, which is unfortunate because they are a good squad, and the MAC deserves some love. They're not posting too well of a season, but when they have a hot team in the University of Toledo, they need to be promoted. And that's just my take on these rankings. I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave us a comment. Leave us a thumbs up if you agree, thumbs down if you don't agree. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Thanks for joining in on the first episode of JV Live. The plan is to keep doing these in Google Hangout forums with our featured contributors. That way we can debate back and forth. We can talk about issues that are hot to us, not hot to us. I'd love to have an argument with someone about this, but that is my vote, and that will reflect in the JV Top 25 being released tomorrow. Don't forget to vote on the JV Report website. We want your contributions, and we want your voice heard. Give us your top 25, as well as we just posted. Give us your MLB votes. Give us your MLB honors. We are taking for the AL Rookie of the Year, NL Rookie of the Year. We're taking for Manager of the Year. We want your vote. We want the JV Rookie of the Year. We want the JV MVP. We want your guys' voice heard. Once again, I'm Andy Geiermann. Thanks for tuning in to this first episode of JV Live. We'll see you all again soon.